There is one angel even Michael and Lucifer feared. He didn't fight battles, he didn't bring messages, he ended stories. Silently, without warning. His presence meant one thing: your time was over. They called him Azrael, the angel of death. Some believed he could remove the soul with a whisper. Others said the moment he appeared, the soul knew it was time. And when he came, even the greatest angels stepped aside. Today, we are telling the story of the scariest angel that ever lived. Welcome. Delving into the origins of this enigmatic figure reveals a profound shift in creation itself. Before the dawn of time, when the cosmos was a formless expanse and humanity had yet to walk the earth, the concept of death was non-existent. The universe, in its nascent state, was a canvas of divine potential, where life had not yet sparked, and thus, its termination was unimaginable.
Creation was a work in progress, a tapestry woven with celestial threads, but lacking the finality that would define its boundaries. This primordial harmony, however, was destined to change with a singular act of free will that would ripple through eternity. In the divine narrative, God crafted Adam, the first human, and placed him in the Garden of Eden, a paradise of unparalleled serenity, untouched by pain or sorrow. Eden was a masterpiece, a gift of divine love where every blade of grass sang of perfection. Yet, this idyllic existence came with a single prohibition. The fruit of the tree of knowledge was forbidden. When Adam and Eve, in an act of defiance, partook of this fruit, they introduced a new reality into the world's sin. This transgression shattered the eternal harmony, birthing a consequence as inevitable as it was unprecedented death. From that moment, humanity's destiny was rewritten. No longer immortal, humans would be born, grow, love, suffer, and ultimately perish, their lives bound by the finite thread of mortality. With death's arrival, the divine order required a steward to manage this somber transition. The task was monumental, for it involved not just the cessation of life, but the delicate passage of the soul from its earthly vessel to the realms beyond. This was no ordinary duty. It demanded a being of extraordinary resolve, one capable of bearing the weight of an act so final, so unyielding, that even the heavens would pause in its presence. Not just any angel could shoulder this burden, for it required a heart steeled against the cries of creation and a spirit unwavering in its obedience to divine will. Among heaven's hosts, roles were clearly defined, yet this one demanded unparalleled resolve. In the celestial hierarchy, angels were assigned distinct purposes. Michael, the warrior, led armies against the forces of darkness, his sword blazing with righteous fury. Gabriel, the messenger, carried divine proclamations, his voice resonating with clarity and purpose. Others tended to specific tasks, from guarding sacred spaces to singing hymns of eternal praise. Yet, the role of ushering death was unique. A solitary path that required not just strength but an unyielding commitment to a task no other angel desired. It demanded courage to face the sorrow of endings, obedience to enact divine will without question, and a rare fortitude to remain unmoved by the pleas of the living or the lamentations of the earth itself. In his infinite wisdom, issued a command that would test the resolve of his celestial host. To form Adam's body, the raw material of earth, its sacred dust was needed. This dust was no mere soil, it was the essence of creation, the foundation of life itself. God sent his archangels to gather it, one by one, to fulfill this divine mandate. According to ancient texts, Michael, the mighty warrior, approached the earth. But its voice rose in anguished protest, begging him not to strip away its essence. Moved by its cries or bound by divine restraint, he returned empty-handed. Gabriel, the herald of divine words, followed, but compassion or hesitation stayed his hand, leaving the earth untouched. Other angels, too, faltered, unable or unwilling to complete the task. their hearts softened by the earth's sorrow or their spirits daunted by the weight of the act. Then God called upon Azrael. At this pivotal moment, Azrael's destiny began to unfold. At that time, Azrael was not yet the angel of death, but a humble servant among the angelic ranks, known for his quiet fidelity and unyielding obedience. He was not marked by the grandeur of Michael or the eloquence of Gabriel, but by a silent strength that spoke louder than words. When tasked with retrieving the earth's dust, Azrael descended without hesitation. The earth, as it had with others, wept and pleaded, its voice a chorus of sorrow echoing through the nascent world. Yet Azrael, unmoved by sentiment, gathered the dust with resolute purpose. Some traditions recount that he spoke softly to the earth, promising that the dust would one day return, a pledge of cyclical renewal. Others insist he remained silent, his actions speaking where words were unnecessary. What mattered was the outcome. Azrael succeeded where others had failed, delivering the sacred dust to God. This act was a turning point, not just for creation but for Azrael himself. It was a testament to his ability to execute the most daunting commands with precision, without complaint, and without succumbing to the emotional weight that had deterred his peers. This singular deed revealed a strength unique among the angels, a capacity to bear the unbearable.
Recognizing this, God entrusted Azrael with a role unlike any other. He would oversee the soul's journey from its inception in the body to its departure at death, guiding it through the veil, separating the mortal from the eternal. This was no mere task, but a divine calling, one that would redefine Azrael's existence. From that moment, Azrael was no longer just an angel. He became Malak al-Maut, the angel of death, a title that resonated with both awe and dread across the heavens and earth. His triumph in this initial trial underscored his singular capacity to shoulder death's burden. The collection of the earth's dust was not merely a logistical success. It was a profound demonstration of Azrael's ability to carry out a task that others could not. The other angels were not weak. Michael's valor and Gabriel's devotion were beyond question, but the role of death's steward required a heart capable of withstanding the sorrow of creation's protests. Azrael's name, derived from Hebrew as help of God, became synonymous with his function to assist souls in their passage from life to the afterlife, a role both solemn and sacred in Islamic and Jewish traditions. Azrael's identity as the angel of death is central, yet his duties extend far beyond the act of ending life. He is not a mere executioner, but a guide, a caretaker of the soul's journey. His primary task is to separate the soul from its physical form at the precise moment ordained by divine will, a delicate act requiring precision and reverence. Yet this is only the beginning of his role. As a psychopomp, Azrael escorts souls from the physical world to the realms beyond, whether they lead to eternal peace, divine reward, or judgment. He is the gatekeeper of transition, the one who opens the door to the afterlife, ensuring that each soul begins its journey as intended. Across religious texts and oral traditions, Azrael's role is richly detailed. He carries a divine scroll or book inscribed with the names of every human being. At birth, a name is added. At death, it is erased. This scroll is not merely a record, but a symbol of Azrael's omniscience over human lives. He does not act on impulse or personal judgment, but waits for the divine signal, as reflected in the scroll's changes. This underscores his deep connection to destiny, a theme that permeates his existence. Unlike Lucifer, who rebelled against divine order, or Michael, who fights to uphold it, Azrael's obedience is absolute. He acts only when God commands, his role activated by divine will alone. This obedience sets Azrael apart, but so does the scope of his influence. While other angels operate within specific domains, protecting sacred sites, delivering messages, or engaging in celestial battles, Azrael's reach is universal. Every soul, from every corner of the globe, regardless of culture, language, or belief, passes through his care. From the ancient nomads of distant deserts to the inhabitants of modern cities, from the peaks of the highest mountains to the depths of urban sprawls, Azrael's responsibility is unending. This universality elevates him above his celestial peers, marking him as a figure whose presence touches all of humanity, beyond his core duties. Azrael's operations reveal a structured hierarchy. Azrael does not always appear in person. Instead, he often delegates his tasks to a cadre of lesser angels, collectively known as the angels of death. These subordinates, acting under his command, collect souls according to the divine plan. Their demeanor varies, reflecting the life and fate of the deceased. For the righteous, these angels appear as gentle guides, offering solace and ease. For the sinful, they manifest as fearsome enforcers, their presence a stark reminder of divine justice. This system reveals Azrael's role not just as a servant, but as a leader, orchestrating a network of celestial beings to maintain balance across the world. In times of great upheaval, wars, plagues, or natural disasters, these assisting angels take on greater responsibilities, handling the surge of souls departing en masse. Yet, for figures of profound significance, saints, prophets, or those whose lives carry divine weight, Azrael himself attends. These personal appearances underscore the gravity of his role, reserved for moments when the soul's passage demands the presence of the angel of death himself. While many fear Azrael, others view him as an integral part of existence. Without his function, there would be no closure to life's narrative, no space for new beginnings. His role ensures the cosmic cycle persists, a cycle designed by divine intent. Azrael is not a harbinger of chaos, but a guardian of order, ensuring that life and death remain in harmony, each feeding into the other in an eternal dance of creation and conclusion. Entrusted with creation's weightiest charge, Azrael wields power befitting his mandate. The ancient texts of Islamic and Jewish traditions paint a vivid, awe-inspiring portrait of Azrael, whose form transcends human comprehension and embodies the vastness of his divine role. His appearance is described as a cosmic marvel, far removed from the simplistic human-like depictions of other angels. According to Islamic sources, Azrael possesses 4 faces, each oriented toward a cardinal direction: north, south, east, and west. This configuration symbolizes his omnipresent vigilance, an unblinking awareness that spans the entirety of the earth. No corner of the world escapes his gaze. He is a sentinel of mortality, ever watchful, his presence a constant in the tapestry of human existence. These faces are not merely physical but metaphysical, representing his ability to perceive every soul, every moment, and every life simultaneously, ensuring that no one is beyond his reach. Yet, this is only the beginning of his extraordinary form. Azrael is said to possess 4,000 wings, a number that defies earthly imagination and underscores the boundless nature of his authority. These are not the delicate, feathered wings of artistic renderings, but vast, otherworldly extensions that stretch across dimensions, bridging the physical and spiritual realms. Some of these wings are imbued with grace, their ethereal beauty a source of comfort for righteous souls, guiding them with mercy and peace toward their eternal rest. Others, however, are instruments of divine retribution, forged from iron rods, sharp hooks, and heavy shears, designed to sever the ties of sinful souls with unrelenting force. These punitive wings are terrifying, their appearance and function a stark reminder of the consequences of a life lived in defiance of divine will. This duality in his wings, grace for the virtuous, judgment for the wicked, reflects the balanced nature of his role, embodying both compassion and justice in equal measure. The sheer scale of Azrael's form is staggering, a testament to the magnitude of his responsibility. Scholars such as Ibn Jafar al-Wa'iz and other classical commentators describe him as possessing 70,000 limbs, each serving a specific purpose in his ability to interact with countless souls simultaneously. These numbers are not meant to be taken literally, but are symbolic, illustrating his capacity to oversee the entirety of humanity across all nations, cultures, and eras. Each limb is a conduit for his divine function, enabling him to touch every life, from the humblest peasant to the mightiest ruler, with equal precision. His form is beyond human comprehension, a necessity for a being whose jurisdiction encompasses the entire earth, from its ancient origins to its modern complexities. This vastness ensures that Azrael can fulfill his role without limitation, his presence as inescapable as death itself. Most hauntingly, his body embodies humanity's pulse in a way that is both profound and unsettling. Azrael's form is described as being entirely covered with eyes and tongues, each one intricately linked to a living soul on earth. This imagery is chilling in its implications. His body is a living reflection of the world's population, a dynamic canvas that shifts with every birth and death. Each eye gazes upon an individual, observing their life with unwavering focus. Each tongue represents the essence or voice of that life, a testament to their existence. When a person dies, one of these eyes or tongues vanishes, fading from his form in a silent acknowledgement of the life's end. This ever-changing form synchronizes with the rhythm of human existence, making Azrael a living embodiment of mortality itself. His body is not static but fluid, adapting to the constant flux of life and death, a divine mirror reflecting the state of humanity at any given moment. Some narrations add further layers to his awe-inspiring presence, describing a flaming whip that he wields as a symbol of divine authority. This whip is not merely a tool, but a manifestation of his power to command subordinate spirits and enforce God's will across the cosmos. It crackles with celestial fire, a reminder of his unyielding obedience to the divine plan. Other accounts paint an even more striking image: the entire earth, with its vast continents, oceans, and mountains, appears to Azrael as no larger than a bowl or dish held in his hand. This metaphor underscores his ability to reach any soul instantly, unhindered by distance, borders, or time.
Azrael does not travel or search. He knows the location of every individual with absolute certainty, his reach instantaneous and his presence inevitable. This image of the earth as a small vessel in his grasp conveys the immensity of his power, reducing the world to a mere fragment within his cosmic dominion. To further emphasize his unparalleled stature, Islamic theology introduces the bearers of the throne angels of immense power whose sole purpose is to uphold God's divine seat. Their size described in nearly cosmic terms, these beings are among the most formidable in creation, their strength and grandeur unmatched by any other angelic order. Yet, some scholars assert that even these titans are dwarfed by Azrael's magnitude. This comparison is a crucial clue to understanding his fearsome reputation. His terror stems not from cruelty, but from the sheer scale of his existence.
Michael, the warrior, and Lucifer, the fallen, feared him not as an adversary, but as a force beyond their comprehension, a being whose essence transcended their own roles and powers. Azrael's presence is a reminder of the divine order's ultimate authority, an authority that even the mightiest angels respect and revere. For the righteous, his arrival offers solace, a gentle transition to the eternal. Unlike other angels whose appearances are fixed, Azrael's form adapts to the state of the soul he encounters, reflecting its moral and spiritual condition. For the righteous saints, prophets, and those who lived lives of devotion and virtue, Azrael appears as a figure of profound peace, his presence radiating a serene, radiant light that soothes the soul. His form is often described as beautiful, calm, and imbued with a divine warmth that feels like a familiar embrace. To these souls, he is not a harbinger of fear but a trusted guardian, offering time to comprehend the transition from life to eternity. His approach is gentle, almost tender, allowing the soul to understand its departure and preparing it for the journey ahead with care and reverence. Traditions recount specific instances of Azrael's personal visits to figures of immense spiritual significance, such as the Prophet Muhammad and Moses. In these encounters, he did not come as a fearsome specter, but as a respectful emissary, extending a divine invitation to leave the mortal world. These moments are depicted as sacred exchanges, filled with mutual respect and understanding, where Azrael's role as a guide shines through for the righteous. His presence is a source of comfort, a beacon of light in the moment of transition, assuring them that their journey is part of a divine plan. Stories passed down through generations emphasize this aspect of Azrael, portraying him as a compassionate escort who honors the lives of the faithful, guiding them with a gentleness that belies his fearsome reputation. This comforting presence is not limited to prophets or saints. For any soul that has lived in alignment with divine principles, Azrael's arrival is a moment of peace, a culmination of a life well lived. His role in these instances is to provide closure, to offer a final moment of clarity where the soul can reflect on its earthly journey before stepping into the afterlife. The warmth of his presence is likened to a reunion with a long-lost friend, a moment of recognition that transcends fear and embraces acceptance. This aspect of Azrael's nature reveals the depth of his role. He is not merely an agent of death, but a facilitator of transition, ensuring that the righteous move forward with dignity and grace.
For the wicked, he embodies dread, a reflection of their own making, in stark contrast. For those who lived lives marked by cruelty, dishonesty, or rebellion, Azrael's appearance is a manifestation of divine justice, a terrifying force that mirrors the fears and failings of the soul. To these individuals, he does not come as a gentle guide, but as an overwhelming presence, heavy with the weight of their transgressions. His form becomes a chilling reflection of the soul's deepest anxieties, cold, unyielding, and terrifying in its intensity. Some traditions describe the experience as excruciating, with the soul being torn from the body rather than gently lifted, a process marked by pain, regret, and an acute awareness of the life's misdeeds. This fearsome aspect of Azrael is not arbitrary but purposeful, designed to reflect the truth of the soul's existence. For those who have sown discord and suffering, his presence is a reckoning, a moment where the consequences of their actions are laid bare. The terror he inspires is not cruelty but a mirror of the soul's state, a divine mechanism that ensures justice is served in the final moments. These encounters are devoid of comfort, filled instead with a profound sense of loss and remorse, as the soul confronts the reality of its choices. Azrael's role here is to enforce the divine order, ensuring that the soul's departure aligns with the life it led, a stark reminder that every action carries eternal weight. Sufi teachings, which emphasize the spiritual journey of the soul, offer a profound perspective on this duality. They suggest that Azrael's appearance is a direct reflection of the soul's inner state at the moment of death. For those at peace, he embodies tranquility, his form a soothing presence that eases the transition. For those consumed by fear, guilt, or resistance, he appears as a manifestation of those emotions, amplifying the soul's turmoil. This adaptive nature underscores Azrael's role as a divine mirror, reflecting the truth of the individual's life back to them in their final moments. His appearances are not limited to the moment of death. Stories abound of Azrael manifesting in dreams or visions, particularly when a person's time draws near. These encounters serve as warnings, reminders, or opportunities for preparation, offering the soul a chance to reflect, repent, or embrace its fate. Historical anecdotes enrich this portrayal. grounding Azrael's role in human experience. The Sufi poet Rumi, whose spiritual insights continue to resonate across centuries, is said to have met Azrael in a vision as his death approached. In this encounter, Azrael appeared in human form, not as a figure of fear, but as a gentle guide, his presence imbued with a profound sense of peace.
Rumi, known for his deep connection to the divine, accepted this meeting with serene calm, recognizing it as the culmination of his spiritual journey. This encounter is celebrated in Sufi lore as a testament to Azrael's role as a compassionate escort, guiding the righteous with care and reverence. Similarly, the Persian poet and philosopher Nasir Khusrau recorded a dream in which Azrael appeared to him, foretelling the approach of his death. This vision was not one of terror, but of clarity, prompting Khusrau to reflect on his life, seek forgiveness, and prepare his soul for the journey ahead. These stories highlight Azrael's role as a messenger of transition, a figure who bridges the gap between the mortal and the eternal, offering guidance to those willing to listen. In these narratives, he is not a destroyer, but a facilitator, helping souls navigate the threshold of death with purpose and understanding. These historical accounts are not isolated. They reflect a broader tradition of Azrael appearing to individuals in moments of spiritual significance. Whether through dreams, visions, or other mystical experiences, his presence serves as a reminder of life's impermanence and the importance of living in alignment with divine principles. For some, these encounters are peaceful, offering reassurance and preparation. For others, they serve as wake-up calls, urging the soul to confront its shortcomings before it is too late. In every case, Azrael's role is to guide, to prepare, and to ensure that the soul's transition is in harmony with the divine plan. This finality extended universally, instilling heavenly hush, a testament to Azrael's unique authority. The mere presence of Azrael was enough to silence the heavens, a phenomenon described in ancient legends as a deep, instinctive stillness that enveloped the celestial realm. Angels who sang hymns of eternal praise, fought in cosmic battles, or served in divine harmony paused in reverence when Azrael passed. Gabriel, the bearer of divine messages, carried words that shaped history. Michael, the warrior, led armies with unyielding courage. Israfil stood poised to sound the trumpet signaling the end of time. Yet Azrael's mission was distinct, marked by an unyielding certainty that set him apart. He did not arrive with warnings or proclamations. He brought finality, an end to all narratives, human and celestial alike. This universal reverence stemmed from the scope of his power. Some traditions suggest that Azrael's authority extended beyond humanity, capable of claiming the soul of any being, even an angel. If God so commanded, this possibility placed him outside the boundaries of time, conflict, or revelation, making him a figure of unparalleled significance.
He did not belong to the stories of war, prophecy, or divine messages. He was the conclusion of every tale, the final chapter that closed all others. In one narration, the bearers of the throne, angels of immense size and authority, tasked with upholding God's divine seat, lowered their gazes when Azrael appeared, not out of fear of his person, but out of respect for his function. His authority derived not from rank but from purpose, as he represented the end of every command, mission, and life. Azrael's solitude further amplified his mystique. Unlike other angels who operated within networks of divine service, he worked alone, his path intersecting with no others. He was the final stop on the divine road, the point beyond which no voice, strength, or plea could alter the outcome. This isolation made his presence all the more profound, a silent force that commanded respect from even the mightiest archangels.
Their deference was not born of rivalry, but of recognition. Azrael's silence signified the end of the story, a truth that resonated across the heavens and earth. But does Azrael equate death or differ?
a question that probes the essence of his being. In many traditions, death is not merely an event, but a created entity, distinct from Azrael, imbued with its own form, weight, and presence. According to ancient Islamic narrations, when God created death, he presented it before the angels, a spectacle so overwhelming that even the strongest among them fainted. Overcome by its power, for 1,000 years, they lay unconscious, unable to bear the weight of death's reality. This event underscores the magnitude of death as a force, one that required a being of extraordinary strength to wield. The moment God placed Azrael in command of death is pivotal, revealing that he was not born of death, but set above it. Unlike other angels who worked with elements of light, sound, or fire, Azrael was entrusted with the ultimate boundary, the line between life and what lies beyond. Some scholars and mystics go further, suggesting that Azrael did not merely deliver death, but became its embodiment, its form shaped by divine command. Death did not lead him, rather, it followed in his wake, a force harnessed by his will. This perspective elevates Azrael from a mere servant to a divine instrument, a being whose essence is intertwined with the very concept of mortality. This idea is particularly compelling in the context of end-time narratives. According to Hadith traditions, after Judgment Day, when every soul has been judged and paradise and hell are fully divided, one final task remains. God will take death itself, personified as a ram, and place it between the realms of heaven and hell. Before all creation, he will slay the ram, ending death forever. In that moment, Azrael's role will conclude, his purpose fulfilled as eternity begins. This act marks the completion of his divine arc, transforming him from the guardian of life's end to a figure whose work ushers in the eternal. Thus, Azrael may not merely serve death, but embody it, a divine vessel shaped to carry out the ultimate command. In end-time lore, his role culminates in a finale that underscores his cosmic significance. The stories of the end of time, particularly in Islamic theology, provide a profound conclusion to Azrael's narrative. After the Day of Judgment, when every soul has faced divine reckoning and the realms of paradise and hell are established, the universe will pause for one final act. Death, personified as a ram, will be brought forth and placed between the two eternal realms. In a moment witnessed by all creation, God will slay this ram, signifying the end of death itself. With this act, mortality ceases, and Azrael's role as the angel of death comes to a close, his purpose fulfilled in the dawn of eternity. This moment is not merely an end but a transformation, a completion of the cycle that Azrael has overseen since the creation of humanity. His role, which began with the gathering of Earth's dust, reaches its zenith as he witnesses the dissolution of the very force he commanded. This narrative underscores his unique position in the divine order. He is not a passive servant, but a central figure in the cosmic plan, a being whose work bridges the temporal and the eternal. The slaying of the ram is a testament to his role as death's master, a role that concludes only when death itself is no more. In this final act, Azrael's legacy is cemented as the one who guided every soul to its appointed end, paving the way for the eternal existence that follows. This eschatological vision adds depth to Azrael's character, portraying him as a figure of both temporal and eternal significance. His work is not endless, but purposeful, designed to serve the divine plan until its completion. The end of death marks the end of his task, but it also elevates his role to one of cosmic importance, a being whose presence shaped the very structure of existence. Whether he is death itself or its divine steward remains a matter of theological reflection. But the power of this narrative lies in its portrayal of Azrael as a figure whose work transcends the mortal realm, guiding creation toward its ultimate destiny.
Modern culture echoes his legacy, weaving Azrael into the fabric of human imagination. The figure of Azrael has transcended his religious origins to become a powerful symbol in literature, art, and popular culture, particularly in the West.
Unlike the Grim Reaper, often depicted as a cold, skeletal figure wielding a scythe, Azrael's origins reveal a complex character who blends fear and reverence, serving as a divine agent rather than a merciless harvester. His role as the Angel of Death, rooted in Islamic and Jewish traditions, has inspired countless interpretations, each capturing a facet of his multifaceted nature. In the 19th century, poets like Henry Wadsworth Longfellow portrayed Azrael as a gentle collector of souls, his presence solemn yet peaceful, a guide who escorts rather than destroys. Longfellow's works imbued Azrael with a quiet dignity, emphasizing his role as a caretaker of the soul's journey rather than a figure of terror. Similarly, Leigh Hunt's poem The Reaper and the Flowers presented Azrael as a quiet figure in black, arriving not to harm but to guide souls to their next phase, his presence a solemn necessity rather than a malevolent force.
These literary depictions softened Azrael's image, casting him as a figure of compassion and inevitability, a far cry from the grim specter of popular imagination. British writer G.K. Chesterton took a different approach, invoking Azrael in his poetry as a powerful force summoned during moments of great spiritual battle. In Chesterton's works, Azrael is not merely a guide, but a symbol of divine authority, a figure whose presence underscores the gravity of spiritual conflicts. His portrayal highlights Azrael's enduring relevance, even in contexts far removed from his religious origins, demonstrating the angel's ability to resonate across cultural and temporal boundaries. In the 20th century, Azrael's name entered popular culture in unexpected ways. In the 1980s cartoon The Smurfs, the villain Gargamel named his cat Azrael, a subtle nod to the angel's association with mystery and inevitability.
Though lighthearted, this reference underscores Azrael's deep-rooted place in cultural memory, his name evoking a sense of the enigmatic and the eternal even in a children's show. This blending of the sacred and the secular illustrates Azrael's versatility as a symbol, capable of carrying profound meaning in both religious and popular contexts. Azrael's legacy is more than a symbol. He is a bridge between life and death, religion and folklore, fear and comfort. His story challenges us to reconsider our perceptions of death, inviting us to see it not as an end, but as a transition guided by a divine hand. Whether viewed as a dark specter or a guardian of life's final step, Azrael's presence is a reminder of the inevitability of mortality and the promise of what lies beyond.
Now, having explored Azrael's story, how do you see him a shadowy figure to fear or a divine escort to the eternal? Share your thoughts below. Like, subscribe, and watch our feature on Lucifer, the angel who became the devil. Next, keep your minds open. And until we reunite,